I'm here sitting wondering why this sound is looping, and I got another window open. I had the mute on. I'm doing everything fucked up today. What's going on, everybody? It's the Monstrosity One, Monstrosity X, Godling. Yeah, on this channel, Goddamn Comics. I am the Godling, the creator, otherwise known as Jay DeLille. I am the artist who is writing, who created, and who is going to be drawing, coloring, inking, all of that good shit of Might, the graphic novel, and the Might universe, which means there's going to be more than just Might, a Might comic book. There's going to be other comic books that will come out later on down the line in the second campaign. The first campaign is going to be all about Might, and the other three characters that will spin off in the second book is Cameo, Everman, and a third character. For now, I'm calling the Nebula, my Nebula character. I'm not going to reveal his name until launch. So, what's up, everybody? It's your man, your homeboy, your brother from another mother, Monstrosity X. And this is Goddamn Comics. And we're here to chill out and talk some comics and comic book heroes. And we're going to talk about a little thing that happened last night. I came in on the endo because I was live streaming at the time. Ripper talking about he was in a debate with this guy called Jody and from Jody's Corner. And we're going to EFAP a little bit of that and check it out because it has something to do with the things that I'm talking about tonight. I'm going to be talking about, well, not tonight. I'm going to be talking about that another night. Okay, so we're not going to worry about these things. I got my live streams a little bit confused. Tonight is about Might, but we're still going to check out a little bit of that EFAP shit because I know for a fact the reason why I agree I'm with Comicsgate is for the same reasons that most people who get into who's into Comicsgate got into Comicsgate. Um, People don't want the big two companies have been destroying the comic industry, destroying movies, the things that we've loved since way back in the 30s, I believe, since Batman and Superman came into being. And I just think of it when I first heard of Comicsgate, the first thing that popped into mind is daggone, I've been creating characters for years now. I've been creating characters since 90s, the 80s. And, and I've been drawing since the 60s. So I'm how would I feel if I was Stan Lee or Jack Kirby or what's his name, Bob Kane, or any of these guys who created these superheroes, and just because I'm not around, I pass away or whatever, some corporate entity buys my product or my creation and then decides that what I spent my life creating is irrelevant and it should be switched up, changed up, all to please somebody who wasn't there, who had nothing to do with its creation, who didn't even get around or get the chance to enjoy the original content, who probably never will, but they want to see themselves in it. And I'm a black man, and I'm talking about white guys who created all of these products, all of these IPs. So why how would I feel if that was me? I don't care if you white, black, or whatever. I don't care if there's racism in the world. I don't care about none of that. If I gained entertainment value, and I gained a lot more than entertainment value because I gained the skill because of what Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and all of those guys did, mostly Marvel. So that's why I say Stan Lee first, because I'm mostly what got me into it was the early Fantastic Four, Thor, Spider-Man, X-Men, all of that. And to now see those same characters that, though I was a black kid, I found a relationship, or I found they say that black folks, oh, you don't have nothing to associate yourself with in these products because they're all white. Well, I never saw it like that. Of course, yeah, there was a time when I was getting into my teens that I thought that it would be something that I should draw black characters, because when I was early and I started, I was drawing a lot of white characters. Or I drew Gigantor, and Gigantor was a really good character for me. And like I said, there was a bunch of Flintstones, you name it, all of them, Jetsons, all of these cartoons and TV shows that came out back in the days, and the comic books. Yeah, they had a bunch of white folks in it, but that was the thing. If you couldn't find some kind of, well, they call it representation. I don't know about all of that, because does every black person can you just throw any black person out there and represent me, who I am as an individual? No, you have to find whatever you can, something that you identify with, wherever you can. It doesn't matter. People watch Asian programs. When I was young, we watched martial arts movies. So I don't see the and I wasn't Asian, but we was outside kicking each other and throwing kicks and punches and doing all of that stuff. So I don't understand why you need to have somebody look like you in order to enjoy or gain some kind of benefit or entertainment value from watching it. So or indulging or engaging with it, like in comic books or stuff like that. So when I started creating my thing, I know I'm Comicsgate for life. I don't care if anybody likes it or not, because I understand what Comicsgate represents and Comicsgate is, and I understand the people involved with it. I get them, even though we might not have all of our ideologies aligning in this for the point of Comicsgate or comic books. Yeah, I'm 100% aligned with everybody involved with Comicsgate. So I created comic. I'm creating Might for this for the express purpose of creating what I want to create and putting my vision of characters out there. And they're not going to be all black. They're going to be characters of, well, different nationalities. There's going to be black, but I want I want my vision to be seen as something that everybody can enjoy. So and I want it to be seen as what the world actually looks like. So I'm not going to have the book flooded all with black folks, because that's not what the world looks like. So that means that I have to be just as fair to my characters of all races, colors, creeds, or whatever, as anybody would. I don't know, but I have to keep pants popping up. I know what I did. Okay, y'all don't see what I'm doing, but anyway. So anyway, Might is a character that I created, and he was created in an experiment back in the 60s. And let me see. Oh man, I kind of did the wrong thing setting up things. I was setting this up for a DC Marvel. I had set this stream up in my mind for another live stream that I'm going to have on the 8th about Marvel and DC hating black characters. So in Might, we're going to have a lot of great stories. We're going to have some great world building. We're going to be traveling to space. We're going to be doing all kinds of things in order to fully develop our characters and our stories. Let me see what we got here. See, that's not what I was looking to do here. So let me see. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. All right, I'm not prepared. I'm unprepared. Let me see. Yeah. Let's see. All right. So, Mike was created in the 60s, and there's an experiment. The government recognized that in the world, in my world, that there were these genetic differences in people that were giving certain individuals abilities, extraordinary abilities, right? And in an effort to, because they saw that these people were beginning to show signs of more enhanced or stronger abilities, that they had to do something about it, because if they persisted, that someday these people might be able to upset the balance of power, right? So the government began doing experiments to create superheroes of their own. And that's what was happened. That's what happened back in the 50s, basically, because there was nuclear testing in the 30s and 40s until they finally came up with the nuclear program. And then after that, they moved on to a program of developing other types of energies. So they found God particles or alpha particles, whatever one you want to think of them as, but God particles. And so they used these God particles to develop a program to create superheroes. And but they didn't want to use it because the problem that they was trying to, I guess you could call it, cut off at the pass, or get ahead of the problem that they was trying to get ahead of, which was uh, humans with abilities being able to come together and attack the government or attack people without abilities. They figured if they just started indiscriminately creating creating superheroes, that it could be a problem in itself, because they're not trying to just create superheroes. They're trying to create super powered superheroes. So in order to combat these naturally occurring abilities in humans. Okay, so what we have is, come on, Mug. This thing is taking a long time to pop up. Pop up, pop up. Okay, I'm gonna have to treat it like this. So what happens is that the government tried to create they created a program in order to create superhuman beings, but they was afraid to put it into action because they didn't know the effects. They wasn't 100% assured of the outcome, whether it would produce the results that they was expecting, but they was pretty confident for the most part that they would accomplish their goals. They was you would say that they was about 75 to 90% assured that they would be able to create superhuman beings, but they shelved the program because they was afraid that they wouldn't be able to control what they created. So this happened in the 50s, right? Mid to late 50s. Let's say that. And in the 60s, the early 60s, a meteorite crashes to Earth. Ooh, right? Hey, maybe we could even draw that. Meteorite crashes to Earth. And let me see. Okay. Meteorite crashes to Earth, right? I know that's just a quick rendition. Of course, it would have its because it's coming through the atmosphere, right? And this shit would probably be so heated you wouldn't probably see most of it. It'll probably be all lit up. Put that shit on a glow. Oh, oops. Okay. Then we're gonna do a little something like this. Nope, that's not gonna do it. All right. Put that on normal. Then put this over her. Add the glow. If you need the glow, you got to go to glow the show. If you reach that upper level, my body and soul could be one. Okay. It's the sacrifice. Takes hard work. It's the way you lie. When you got that glow. Either one. All right. Your body's strong, don't let go of the power of innovation. Anybody know where that song comes from? That shit comes from The Last Dragon. The Last Dragon. All right. Meteorite burning through the sky. Right? Burning through the sky. Maybe we can clean up this and all right. Oops. So, okay. Meteorite crashes to Earth. And creates and what happens after it hits Earth, let me see, is that is the power of innovation. Hits the earth. Of course, it's going to be a big explosion. Shoom, shoom. It's coming all out. And it's going to be hot. Probably have color in that shit too. Have a lot of hot shit coming out after the impact. And I know I'm not drawing boxes and shit. But anyway, the meteorite is in this crater and it basically starts seeping. Yep. No. It basically starts seeping out. Yeah. It cracks open. And this black stuff, this dark black viscous tar type of shit starts seeping out. Right? And it starts engulfing everything. It strikes outside. Matter of fact, we could put the city back here. The city of Portsburg is in the path. It crashes on the outskirts. Now this is a coastal city, so it's right on the coast. So it's on the outskirts of the city, right? Just outside the city. And yeah, I'm making some terrible buildings. and what happens is this stuff starts seeping out and spreading everywhere, right? And heading towards the city, right? So damn, that looks terrible. So anyway, what happens is that superheroes come to the rescue, and hold on, we're gonna do some better drawing. We're gonna do a little bit better thing here. All right, here we go. Superheroes and first responders of all kind leap into to action. Police, fire department, all of that. They leap into action to try and see what this is and to stop it. Because it's like only a couple of miles from the city. And the impact alone destroyed. Oh yeah, I forgot to create it. A crater, right? This is supposed to be in a crater. So okay. Yeah, this would be in a crater. I would have this in a crater. And there would definitely be do 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 do. There would definitely be a crater. Let's build this up. See, that's what I get for hold on, putting all of this on one layer. That's what I get. I should have been able to just blank this out like that. But I put it all on one layer. That was stupidness. All right, now I know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. All right. So let's go all the way. Let's take this all the way down. And so what we have is the superheroes rushing in. Superheroes rush in to save the day. All right. All right. Superheroes rush in to save the day, and they're losing. Because everything this stuff touches begins to mutate and alter begins to mutate and alters everything, right? Creating all right. Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? La la sugar. What's going on? Hookah. What's going on? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Just a little bit right there, like that. And then you can put that mean. Then you come in with your little bit of. This is a technique that I've been working on. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We're all sensitive people. My much to give. Understand me, sugar. Ooh. Since we got to be cool. Lately, I love you. We. Ah, nothing wrong. Me loving you. I know. Don't quit the day job, right? I haven't heard that song in a minute. So there's these superheroes rushing in to save the day, and they're losing. And no, that's wrong. They're losing. They're getting killed. They're getting engulfed by the viscous, tarry shit. Matter of fact, this should be more. It should be black. It should be all black. Yeah. Blub, 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 blub. It should be all black. And then it's. Yeah, I just fucked up the church's money with that shit. Oh well. Okay. All right. What we gonna do is separate this shit. Sorry about that. I know that I shouldn't be doing this because it's wasting time, and I could have just did it right the first time. Yeah. Whatever you seen, I was trying to set up. Mother. Okay, I was trying to set up for some other program, but I can't do that now. All right. Another show. All right, that's another layer. Another layer. And you can bump that. And then this is another layer. This is another layer right here. Where. Nothing wrong with me loving you. Baby, no. And, oops. And giving yourself to me. Okay. All right. Now we got them on separate layers. I'm happy now. I'm happy. Dog chow makes me very happy. All right. So now we can come back in here and make this all black. What's that show that the Showtime has put out? Everything is gonna be all white. We're gonna make this. Everything is gonna be all black. All right, so this is the viscous material. Let's have it kind of moving out from there. Okay, we got to put some hard shit on this right here. Some hard erase here. round this out, make it look like it's flat. Yeah. And then you can, yeah. So anyway, the superheroes is getting their asses kicked. They dying left and right. Right? Yeah. This stuff is seeping all over the place. And everything, like I said, everything it touches, it's mutating. It's mutating it, changing it. And basically the superheroes are getting all fucked up. The police are getting killed. The military is getting wiped out. And they're starting to run out of superheroes. So the government says they need something more powerful because these guys weren't strong enough. Some guys are strong enough, but very few. Right? Stronger ones with more ability, they lasted longer, but they didn't necessarily have the ability to survive the substance, right? That's what they called it, the substance. So what happens is his shoulder, his back shoulder, got his back right here, booty meat. Oh, let's pull that back. Booty meat, booty meat, booty meat. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, that's all. Light will be up top. And so anyway, what happens is that the government has to now rely on this program that they mothballed in the 50s because they can't take the chance that whatever this is keeps spreading, because so far they try to hit it with flamethrowers, they try to hit it with all kinds of things, and napalm bombs, uh fire, everything, and nothing works. And so what happens is this is all messed up. I should have drew it out first. Sometimes I draw it out and then try to, well, mostly that's how I do it. I'm trying, this is a little bit, I try to do it a little faster. Okay. So anyway, what I'm trying to do is just so that superheroes came to the rescue and they was losing, and they wound up having to make more superheroes. So they pulled this program out of mothballs and began to, they look for volunteers amongst their very best. And remember, this is the 60s, so there was some racism going on, and that's part of the story. But it's not no virtue signal. It's just to show the reality of life back in that era. So anyway, because Mike is going to become one of the big superheroes of the 2020s or whatever, the 2000 era. So what happens is the government pulls this uh program out of mothballs. Maybe I should have just drew Mike. And we could do that too. So what the government did was pull the program out of mothballs and began to create superheroes, right? They began to create, what the heck happened? What's this say? What's this for? Connect what? Connection is fairly good. If you're on, okay, it disappeared. I don't know what the heck that shit is. It was something telling me that my connection wasn't that good, or was pretty good, but so anyway, no, I don't want to remove that. I want to go back to it. All right, move that. Boo. All right, so where you going? Where you going? All right. So what happens? The government creates these superheroes to fight off this substance. And even though they didn't really want to, because they was, like I said, they was afraid of what was going to happen. They didn't know if they could control these superheroes. And this was to make highly powerful superheroes. And this is the first time that they are actually putting it into use, because again, like I said, they didn't want to create these creatures, these beings that they knew that they couldn't really control. So they created these characters and using military men who was already disciplined, used to taking orders, and so they got them. They got a platoon or whatever of dudes. I don't know how many that is. I got to look that up. Let me see how many is a platoon. How many is a platoon? Do you guys know out there how many is a platoon? Oh, who's that here? Oh, Doodle Scratch. What's going on, bruh? How you doing? The ooze. We call it the substance. It's the substance. The ooze sounds like, what is that? Ninja Turtles? No, we don't. It's not Ninja Turtles. This is the substance. Does the black ooze turn people into black ooze? See, I don't want to give away any details, because that's gonna come. I'm gonna talk about those types of details on the launch. I don't want to give away too much right now, so I'm not going to tell you what happens now. But during the launch, I'm going to tell all of this. I'm going to have different reveals that because I plan on getting it on a few people's different live streams, so that they can tell me, so that I can help promote my book. So then on those live streams, I'm going to be giving reveals to everybody's live stream. I'm going to have a different reveal that I can share with the public on a different show. Like if I could get on Dan Frager, I'm going to give him like 5 different reveals, because he's the only dude who really put me on his show. He didn't have to, and I really do appreciate that. So whatever I can do, I want to reveal like 5 different things. Being that I have so many characters and so many things that I want to talk about so badly, I'm going to give him the first pop. I'm going to allow him. I'm going to talk about the story, and then I'm going to say any character, anything you want to ask about. I'm going to do my best without revealing too much, and because I know I have a lot to talk about, a lot of stuff that happens before the actual story begins. So I know a lot of stuff about the characters. I know a lot of stuff about my world and the world building. So I can talk about all of that stuff. And I'm just telling y'all the briefest of stuff, but all of this is before the story actually starts. And the stuff that I'm telling you about is early in the story. So the book is going to be how all of this stuff comes together and how they start working things out and getting things solved. So that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, Doodle Squatch, I'm glad you came through. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm going over it again because I don't want people I don't want to talk like everybody coming to the show, because I don't have too many people coming to the show. So in case any new people come in, I want them to know how it started. This is his origin story. And this origin story, I'm not going to give right away. I'm not going to tell the complete origin story right away. It's going to come like maybe 3 books in, when something important happens that has to do with his origins or with the substance, then I'll go back. We'll talk about it. It'll be mentioned in the book, sort of like what they did in Game of Thrones when they mentioned a lot of things about White Walkers, and then they just gave you a little peek, and then at like way 3-4 seasons in, that's when you started seeing the White Walkers a whole lot and seeing more of them. So that's what I want to do with this. I'm going to talk about his origin, but in the first book, you're going to get his story about this substance, because what happens is um, the beginning of the story, there's a theft, and they steal a sample of the substance. So that's what really gets the story started in the present day. This is the 60s. Mike is about 30 years old. He's been in the military and for about 10 years or so, and he's one of, if you heard of the Tuskegee Airmen, well, the first group of volunteers from the military are a bunch of white soldiers, and then the second group was this group of volunteers, the black soldiers, who were like the cream of the crop, like the Tuskegee Airmen, and so they brought these guys in. He had a leader who a black dude, and he winds up becoming part of. He's in the story too. All of this stuff is in the story. Like, I got a lot of characters. I have a lot of them, and a lot of them have stories of their own. So what happens is Mike and these guys come in here, and they're fighting off this stuff, and they're losing. Even the new guys that they created are losing. And so instead of just going headlong and fighting and keep losing men, they create a new group with the black guys, and they start strategizing and try to attack again. But then they say, hold on, we're just throwing bodies at this thing. Let's strategize and think about what we're doing. So this virologist, doctor, he comes from out of the woodwork. He's an obscure doctor, and yeah, I made him black because he comes out of the woodworks, and what happens is he comes up with a way to attack this thing. And in the process, because they need to get his cure or remedy or whatever you want to call it into this thing, because of what's happening. Like, again, I can't give away the details. Because of the way they do things, the way, because of the way the substance reacts, they have to deliver the cure directly into the heart of the meteorite, right? And in doing that, the doctor, he goes himself, because he's an NGen. He's what I call an NGen, or neo neogenic, neogenetic, or what do I call next generation humans, right? That's what NGen stands for. Neogenic, or next generation humans. So that's my designation. Instead of using Homo superior or mutants, like the X-Men use or metahumans like DC uses, I created my own scientific designation for these guys. So they're called neogenic or next generation humans. So that's what NGen stands for. So these guys, that's naturally occurring superpowers. And so because they was afraid of these neogenic guys, they created, but they could only use neogenic people in their experiment because their bodies were strong enough to handle the experiment on its own. So these guys, the superheroes that they created, were neogenetic or next generation humans because their bodies could endure the punishment that the operation put them through. And they created these superheroes, and they lost some of them, but they stopped. And then the doctor came in. He told them about his theory, and because of the way the substance reacted, he knew that he thought he felt he had to deliver his cure or the remedy or the solution to the heart of the meteorite right in here. So that's when they had to go to the heart of the meteorite, and they lost a bunch of heroes, and the doctor too. He died. And so basically what's known as Harlem in my city, well, it's not known as Harlem, it's called Dukeside because they named it after the doctor. His name is, where's my book? His name is Isaiah Duke, something like that. But they call it Dukeside. Where is it? Okay. They call it Dukeside. Dukeside. And right on the border. So if you know Manhattan, well, I live in New York. So if you know Manhattan, Manhattan is a Long Island, and this main city is like right here. And down here is Soho, and up here is Harlem. And this is like the black area. And then there's and then across the bridge, the Bronx is up here, and then across the bridge this way is Queens and Long Island. Queens and Long Island, Long Island. And then down here is Staten Island. And then Brooklyn. Staten Island, Staten Island, Island, and Brooklyn. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 boroughs, right? Manhattan, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. If I'm not mistaken. I sound ignorant now. Okay, Brookline. Okay. So that's how I have my thing set up. Well, kind of. Kind of. Where's my map? That's what I'm in the process of making my map, and I got a lot of work to do. Maybe this one is a little too messy. Hold on. Daggone, I didn't realize I messed it up that bad. Hold on. Okay. Luckily, I saved it twice. Where is it? Shimon, Craig. Shimon. Okay. Now, this is Dukeside. This will be the ocean over here. This is the ocean. This is the ocean over here. Ocean. Oops. and it's I don't know if I guess it's a east coastal city, and in here this is water. This is all water, and here's the ships come into the port. The port is over here, and there's port stuff here. There's port stuff here because these are all islands or archipelago, I guess. There's a prison over here. It's called Archway Prison because this is an archway right here. And then up here, see, this is be Portsburg or Port City. This is all Portsburg. All of this is Portsburg, right? And this would be Port City, like Manhattan. Port City, and then up here, and then there's going to be like rivers coming down here, and then canals. This would feed. This is a lake right here. These are lakes, and this is gonna like feed like this. Tributaries, I guess you could call them, and I don't know if I'm gonna have it coming through the city or going around the outside. No, it's not gonna go around the outside. It's gonna go through the city because down here is where the asteroid land hit, right? And so this lady, this is another tributary, and now here is an island where another superhero lives, but he's not really a superhero. He's kind of like a recluse, and he's very old. He's a magic dude, and I'm not talking about him, but I'm bringing him up because all of these guys are going to their names, their abilities, stuff like that are going to be revealed during the launch. So, which is coming soon. I'm working on the cover right here right now. That's it. And all of the stuff at the top is basically colored already. This guy's already colored. This guy's already colored. But I was redoing it because I didn't like the colors, and his face started getting all muddy. I had redone this, and his face really started getting muddy, and I don't know. But I was playing around with it. I'm working on these characters on the bottom. This guy's finished. That's Wreck. This is Black Talon. This is Warhammer. I'm working on him, and I'm working on her. You can see I'm trying to put the glow in my color. I'm working on my colors. I've never colored. I've never colored or inked. I'm mostly a penciler most of my life. So this coloring stuff, and especially the inking, I'm getting into it, and I got to learn all of this at one time. That's why it's taking me a while, because I have to learn how to ink, I have to learn color theory, I have to learn all of this stuff, and while writing 3 to 5 stories, because there's going to be the Mike story, then there's going to be the story about Mega. He's one of my first characters I've ever created, and he's going to be in this book big time. He's going to be introduced in this book, and you're not going to see him like that, like this. He doesn't look like this, right? This is him. When I drew him back in the 80s, this is when I started getting good with my art, right? Because I practiced drawing from muscle magazines for a long time. And then I went back to, because I was collecting comic books, and then I didn't really like my art. This is how I used to draw when I got into high school. I did a video of it. Let me see. I drew this drawing. This drawing made me get better because I had a drawing competition with my brother. And in the 70s, The Incredible Hulk was on TV, and he was 6 years older than me, and he drew a cover of the Hulk, and I drew the Hulk from the TV show. So when I was around 14, 15, because that's when I was getting into high school, and that's when the Incredible Hulk TV show was on TV between 76 or 70, yes, 76 and something. It was on. So this is the Incredible Hulk that in my mind, was from the TV show. And yeah, I was around 15, 14, 15, 16, somewhere around there. And my brother drew a cover of the Incredible Hulk fighting the Hulk Smasher. I looked online for that cover and I couldn't find it, so I have nothing to compare this with. I even looked for my brother's drawing because I'm living in the house that we raised in. So I've seen it as an adult, but it's in the closet and it's too packed up with crap for me to get to in such a short time. So I kind of left it. I dug some things out, but I put them all back because I couldn't find it. So when I do find it and I get to actually compare the two so you can see the difference in my skills at that time and his skills, uh, that's what my intentions were, but I couldn't. But I intend to readdress this when I find that drawing. So anyway, I created Mega. But back then, I called him the Mega Mutant. But after I created in the 90s, I created my own designations. So I no longer use mutant. So he's just Mega. And so I created him, and he's a synthetic humanoid. And the doctors, the story that I have to grab these characters and then start molding them to the stories that I'm writing. So before I didn't know. I knew he was something created by a human. I because back in the 80s I was drawing a story where his father was trying to go to Professor X to help him save his son, and and now and then when I was in the middle of drawing that little scenario, because I was planning on going to Marvel to try and get a job, so I was drawing these this I have it in a book upstairs, but when I started telling my friends, yo, I'm drawing this stuff and or the character that I created to take to Marvel, one of my friends said, yo, man, my brother went to Marvel with his portfolio, showed him their stuff. Next week or a month later, he saw his characters with a slight name change or whatever, and they stole his stuff. So I was like, damn. And Mega is one of my favorite characters. He has a unique uh, ability. He has a unique storyline, and he's one of the first characters that I ever created. So I have a certain degree of love for the character. So just thinking that this character would then, I would go to Marvel and have them steal him from me because I put him in this story, basically depicting in all of these details about him, just so that I could tell this story and get a job. And even if I would have gotten a job, right, I would have created multiple characters to put in their books, and they would have get to keep them, just like EVS created Atrocitus and so many other characters for DC. That's what they would have done with my character, and right now I wouldn't be able to use him, and he's one of my top characters. So this one was done in 85. So I would this guy, I changed his color because again, I was young. That's all it was just naturally occurring to draw white characters because everything that I saw, I remember I was coming up around looking at John Burns, Frank Frazetta, Steve Buscema, so many talented artists back then, and they was all drawing white characters. And the only character that I knew of back then was Falcon and Power Man. I think they had Black Panther too, but again, they wasn't my favorite characters because they had really bullshit abilities. Power Man only had strength, and he had garbage uh, um, villains to fight, and he spoke funny. That sweet Christmas crap was nothing I ever heard in Black America. So I didn't really find him an intriguing character. So Black Panther I liked, but I wasn't all out in love with because he was African. And again, it's another experience that I knew nothing about. I was raised in New York. So um, and then Falcon. Falcon was cool, but he never really done anything on his own. He never had everything that he did was side by side with Captain America. So he was a sidekick to me. So even though I liked the characters because they were black and I was like, yeah, cool. After a while that wore off. So I'm creating my own characters. And the first thing, of course, is to create white characters. But as I was starting to get older, I started switching them around. And so now I have plenty of white characters, and I'm going to make sure to make some badass white characters because I want everybody to be represented in here. Not everybody. Come on, I can't represent everybody. But I'm going to try and bring a couple in. But later on, I'm going to stick with white and black right now, and maybe a couple of Hispanic because that's what I know. I came up around Hispanic people, white people. I don't know any Arabs. I don't know any Asians. I don't know because I haven't come across those kind. Well, not to become friends with. So I don't know their cultures besides what I seen on TV. I don't know no gay people. I don't know that. So I'm not trying to delve into any of that. I just want to tell superhero stories. So this guy is a genetically a synthetic humanoid. That means he's a biosynthetic humanoid. He's part he has part biogenic genes and synthetic genes, and this is part of what makes him who he is. And his father, who created him to um, he created him to help save his children who have an aggressive form of progeria. Well, even progeria alone is enough because these children don't usually live to be any older than about 15. But uh, he was trying to save his kids so that they didn't, because when they're first born, they're born normal. And then as they grow, they kind of age rapidly and it takes an effect. So um, when he first started noticing the differences, he started experimenting, trying to create something that would help them remain normal as they grew older. And he was successful. He was successful in kind of stunting the progeria disease in his first child. And by having a second child. He had a second child, and he was trying to use the genetics in the second child because it's a rare disease. So he figured if they had a second child, that the child wouldn't have progeria, and he'd be able to save his first child, prevent them from getting too old. But the second child got it too, and he wound up saving them both and added life to years to their life. But they're about say about 8 and 5 now, and they look more like how they age. They look older, and they start getting disease of older people and stuff like that. So what happened is he went back, but he had this other experiment that he was working on a prosthetic for humans to help people who lose their limbs in whatever accident, but mostly for war, because he's a scientist for the government. He works in a secret lab developing stuff for military grade stuff. and he was trying his best to help the people of the military who get their limbs blown off or whatever, or has to lose limbs. And then the idea was these synthetic limbs would be able to be placed right onto them pretty quickly, and they would heal up within a month or so. So you can put a transplanted arm. You could grow an arm, a synthetically, a biosynthetic arm. If you get your arm blown off, you could, you use the host, you use his, or the donee, you use his genes to create this biosynthetic limb. And what happens is you take that limb, you fill it with blood from the transplant recipient, and it basically starts the limb to come into life. And so if he's had, it doesn't matter how long you had a stump or or the limb removed. What you do is just cut off the end of the stump, and you place, after you fill the replacement limb with his blood, the limb starts coming to life. And when you place it onto the end of the arm, or the cut off stump, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not 100%. I have to educate myself. I'm a little ignorant right now. So anyway, you place it on there, and it basically just starts healing. The arteries and the veins attached almost immediately, and then they have to attach the arm or hold the arm in place for at least a couple of days while the rest of the meat and musculature attach themselves, and ligaments and all of that stuff attach themselves. The arm isn't, or the limb isn't 100% for about a couple of weeks, and they give it about a month for it to be fully healed. And when it's fully healed, that arm is not only stronger, but the limb and the part of the body that it's attached to becomes stronger. Not immensely, maybe about twice the strength, a strength and a half, something like that. But so if you get an arm, your shoulder and your part of your chest becomes, or your part of your torso, up by your shoulder, becomes stronger. If you get a leg, your hip and your buttocks and your testicles can become stronger. If you get two legs, it'll get higher up to into your abdomen. If you get two arms, your chest and maybe your heart would get stronger. So if you see what I'm saying, it basically enhances the human and makes them a little bit stronger, and you could get right back into the war in a month's time if necessary. So this is what the intentions were, but what happens is he used the process that made the limb into a complete humanoid. So that's where that's where my Mega comes from, and that's going to be all in the beginning of the story. And there's more to it, of course. There's a lot more to it because but I can't, again, I can't go. I'm saving that shit for the launch. And then I have these other characters. One is called Cube to the Second Power. It's about an artificial intelligence. And this guy, he's creating an AI, but it's not about artificial intelligence. It's not. It's about something else. And again, I'm saving this for the launch. He's created this AI. He's been intending to create this AI, and what he's sure that he did the best thing for this thing. And of course, I think I'm going to have the military come, and they want to take it from him, and claiming what did they say, national security and stuff like that, because the AI that he created was so sophisticated, it can do almost anything. So they want to confiscate it. But what he did was he able to skirt it. That's it. I'm not. I can't give it all away. I'm gonna be giving away the whole story. That's gonna come out in the book. Right? It's gonna be a slow. These stories are gonna be kind of like slow burns because I gotta focus on the Mike story where this substance is in a lab. The lab that this doctor works in. He works for a military lab that's stationed in around, where is it? Okay. Um there's a lab probably around here, right? And that lab, or maybe right along here, right inside, or right on this side of the river, right? Or the tributary. It's in one of these three spots, but it's a lab here. This is years later. This is in present day 2020, 22. And what happens is there's a lab here, and the being that this is the crash site, there's a fortress. All of this stuff. Okay, let's get back to the story. Okay, when this substance is out there, the doctor and the superheroes that were left, they go in and they put out this all-out assault to get him to the center of the meteorite in order to stop the progression of this substance. And they managed to do it. They get the doctor there, but he dies in the process. They introduce the cure or whatever to this substance, and they render it inert. But being that it was so deadly, anything that it touches was getting mutated and transformed or whatever. So they found something because it spread enough to get into part of the city, like the lower part of the city was affected. Right in here was affected, right? And these were, maybe I might even put it here because over here because I want it to be coastal, right? And in here, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put I'm gonna put the crash site was right about here, right? And it spread out into here and engulfed the lower part of the city, right? And this is affluent neighborhood, coastal region. This is big money up in here, so a lot of rich folks was here. But nowadays, it's a slum, and people are starting to move back. Gentrification, right? This is a slum, and a lot of minorities. Is a ghetto down here in present day. But there's a lab that was built here. The lab was built here, right? And it's a secret lab. It says that it's a regular lab on the outside, but deep down, because there's cliffs all along here, and all in here, there's cliffs. And there's a river this is a river comes down here, out into here, right? And then there's a river that comes along here, right? And here's two other cities. This is Legend City. Yeah, my city, my book is gonna have a multiple city type of thing going. This is Portsburg, right? And this is Port City up here. Is what would be known as my Harlem. This is Duke Side. Duke Side. And over here would be the Bronx. I don't I gotta make up a name for that. And all of this is This is rich, affluent neighborhood with lakes and all that, lake houses. This would be my Long Island. Staten Island would be over here somewhere or back in here. And down here would be some farming and rural stuff, housing. And then out here would be like mostly countryside, right? And here they built the military base after this because all of this land, all of this debris from where this substance touched, they had to dig all of that up like a foot deep beyond where the substance touched. They had to dig all of that stuff up. They built a space station with the help of a lot of other nations in the world. They contributed because they realized if they didn't stop this thing, it could have spread and took over the world. So the world wanted in on this shit. So they contributed to building a space station, a massive space station to house all of this tainted soil, rock, debris, and the substance itself. And and there, because they use fire, they use napalm, they use everything they could think of to try and stop this shit, and nothing worked. But I do have something that they stored this shit in. They found that there was something that they could use to contain it while it was still highly active, that it couldn't just affect. This substance couldn't affect it. And I'm not telling. You have to read the book. So anyway, yeah, that was not coming out. That little tidbit's not coming out in the launch. You have to read the book to find out about that. So anyway, and that's going to be in the origin story, which I will tell in the Chronicles, the Might Chronicles, which would be the supplementary book. If you know how Comicsgate and John Malin does his books, he has supplementary books that has other stories that you could tell. Well, my Might Chronicles will come out with the first Might book. We'll have the origin of Nightshade, which is my second in command, a female, and the origin of Wreck, which is a muscular, massive dude, white boy that I got. That's the dude that I showed you in the cover. This guy right here, that's Wreck. This dude right here. He's a big, bulky white boy. Fuck shit up. He was once a slave. So, and his name when he was a slave was Harness, and he still wears the harness. So, it's his story is something like that Oliver Twist with the Fagin character. Yeah, so he has a Fagin who basically grabbed him up when he was a kid and made him into his slave. But he didn't feel he was a slave at the time. He offered him abilities, he gave it to him, and then once he got the abilities, he enslaved his ass. So we will address that. So the origin of Wreck, the origin of Nightshade, and the first meeting of this guy, the arms dealer. And I call him the arms dealer because he's got one arm, two arms, three arms, four arms. See, this is one of his tentacles that comes around here. That's an arm. And this laser, that's an arm. And see this gun, that's an arm. So he's the arms dealer, but he's also a weapons merchant. So I like playing with my words like that. So he's the arms dealer, he's my weapons merchant. And so once I finished getting Red Devil finished and Warhammer, once I get Warhammer finished and her finished, because all of the rest of these are finished. Might is finished. The Omega. He's let me see. I can write that down for you guys. Yeah. The O Meg God. And this guy is basically, I have an old page here. It's not finished, but it has a description. It's not the finished version. You can see that. You can see that on the launch. I don't want to show that off. These are not finished versions here. Okay, the Omegod. It says this is his name. This is the name Belosophan. Bella Belosophan. What? Well, I'm playing around with his name, Belosophan. Right? That's his name, Belosophan. A Bella fan. I was playing around with it. A Bella fan, a Belosa fan, a Bella fan. I'm not sure which one. Belosa fan, I think is the. I'm going with when I'm going. Belos. So he's also known. He's been walking the earth for thousands of years, and he's been come to known as a necromancer, a reaver, a demon, devourer of souls, a reaper, death, and to people who follow him and love him, he's known as the resurrector, the god of the afterlife. So all of that will come clear later on. See, he was an obscure deity from 3,000 years ago. Some call him a demon, others call him the resurrector. So that's who he is. He's a badass, and I always wanted to create my own because Apocalypse is one of my favorite characters. So I always wanted to create a devastatingly powerful character who's benevolent. Well, not benevolent, but he's kind of omnipotent or whatever you want to call it. He's ultra powerful, and he's kind of, but he likes humans, right? He likes humans. He respects humans, because he's a little bit more than just humans. So he likes people because of their resilience and their brilliance and how they think and their creativity and all of that shit. So that's just a little bit about him. This guy is whew, I'm telling you, I can't wait. His story is going to be a slow burn too. I'm going to introduce him in the book, but he's not really, his story is going to come, and he might even become a regular villain to my Nebula character, my space dude. And there's reasons for that, but I can't really talk about I can't talk about it until the launch, because those are one of the gimmies that one of the reveals that I'm going to be giving up at the launch. I'm going to talk about how he came into his origin and stuff like that. I might not even tell all of his origin. I just might tell about his relationship to other things. You're not gonna get me to spill. Okay, so yeah, so he's gonna come after they realize, after Might and the guys. So what happens is, where is it? These guys, they render this substance inert. They take all of that stuff from Portsburg. They take all of this gravel and dirt and the substance itself. They put it in barrels, put it on this space station. Years later, after the space station is built, like, let me see, it's in the 60s, so maybe 20 years it took to build a space station. So in the 80s, they put all of this stuff. They didn't want to ship it. They was thinking about sending it into the sun, but what if that shit, has some kind of reaction in the sun and they kill the sun? So they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to just ship it out into space and have it affect some other planet. So they kept it on the space station doing all kinds of testing. And because the whole world helped build the space station, well, the major powers, there was Russian scientists, Chinese scientists, French and English, and from all of the real major dealers, the major powers of the world in the 60s. 60s, 70s, all of those guys who helped contribute to building this space station, and they kept all of that stuff on the space station. And things happen with the space station. There's events that's going to happen. The events from this time where the meteorite struck and all of that stuff to the present day, these stories are going to wind up in the Might Chronicles. And that's the supplementary books, and that's going to be like a 68-page book, and it's going to have 3 stories, and each 20 pages each, 20 something pages each. Like I said, it's going to be one with Nightshade, one with the first book is going to come with a story with Nightshade, the origin of Nightshade, the origin of Wreck, and the first meeting between the arms dealer and Might. So there's things that happen with this incident reoccurs between the 1960s and 2020 or 22, whatever, when the book comes out. So all of this is going to be all of this is going to be in the book. All of this is going to be completely relevant, have a complete relevance, and it's going to be blowing your mind. Oh yeah, the book going to have the 2 books. That's what I want to have, the 2 books. And then if we have a good campaign and get up to like 20 something thousand, 30, I want to give a free book talking about it's going to be a 20 something page book about the God Tomb. Now, the God Tomb is a story about when I was a kid. My home is close to a naval veterans hospital, and when we was kids, we used to I went to a Catholic school, so right up the block from my Catholic school there was an abandoned house, kind of fell down, where it was just the bottom floor and a couple of partial walls, a few partial walls up, and some holes in the floors. And we used to run around on that thing and climb up and walk along the edges of the broken walls and what was left of the garage, and we used to play games in there, because of the dilapidated nature. It made it hard for people to just chase you because there was all kinds of obstacles in there. So you could run around in there, and it was a nice little playground. And so that's what we did with this veterans hospital. In the back of the veterans hospital, they had these old barracks, and excuse me, we went to the barracks. There's a hole in the fence around the back of the hospital, and we went in through this hole in the fence into the barracks. It was all overgrown with trees and weeds and overgrowth, whatever you would call it. And we would go in there and play in these barracks. And then one of the barracks had this huge hole in the floor, like 10 feet wide. And we was always wondering what was down in that hole because it was black. You couldn't see down in there. And so in my mind, not too long ago, a few years back, I decided to create this story called The God Tomb, where we as children, say around eighth grade, 7th, 8th grade, went down in that hole because there was something beckoning us, maybe a light showing or something just calling to us or whatever. And so, of course, there's a group of us, so there's different personalities. The tough kid says, I'm going down. And then the other kid who's on the good side, but he's strong, he says, fuck it, I'm going down too. They kind of have a little rivalry because he was the bully, he was to pick on dudes, and well, that's kind of like me. Because I was like that. I got picked on, and then I would beat up the bully, and then the bully would basically want to become my friend. or he would hang out with us, and I would keep the bully in check when he would want to pick on other kids. I'd be like, yo, chill out. And he would chill out because, he didn't want none. So that's the relationship. But I was mostly the good kid. I would say no to things that were too far, and where this kid would want to go. Right? If he wanted to go all out, I would be like, nah, I ain't doing that shit. And then everybody would follow me. So that's what this kid did. And he's like, I'm going down. But this time I'm like, yo, I'm going down too. This is the story. It's not me, but that's the relationship. It was all, that's where I got the idea from. So we went down in there and we found that this stone tomb was down in there, and the doors opened up and let us in into this antechamber, and it had these altars, one for each of us. There's about 6 or 7 of us there playing, and so it let us in, and it basically offered us. It made suggestions to us to offer our blood to him. They put the palm of it put palms of the of like images or indentations of palms, your hand palms in the wall, and then a little needle would come out, and we was like, fuck that. And then the altar came out from the wall, and then the palm of the indenture of the palm of the hand showed up in the altar. So it was basically saying, put your hand there, it's gonna stick you, and then you put your bloody hand on the altar and see what happens. And of course, we wind up going. The tough dude, the bully, he said, "Fuck it, I'm doing it." He gets his hand stuck, and then the altar comes out, puts the hand indenture there, and he puts his hand there, and he feels a little different afterwards, right? And so I do it too, or the kid who represents who I was back then. He does the same thing, and then everybody else does the same thing. They all say, "Fuck it, we gonna do it." Maybe even the next day, to because the next day the bully kid, he's stronger. He's stronger. So, and I told this whole story on story time way back in my the earlier episodes. So basically what happens is we start getting abilities, and we are able to gain more abilities, but we have to actually offer sacrifices to the altar. And but you can only offer a particular type of offer one time. So if you kill a bug and you offer it to the altar, it'll give you abilities, some kind of an ability, but you can't use bugs again. So then they have to kill like a bird, then they have to kill like a squirrel, then they have to kill like a cat, then they have to kill like a dog. So it keeps progressing in order for them to get a little bit of abilities. Maybe they get super sight, super hearing, they already got strength, then they get speed, then so ultimately is flight and the all-around package. And but who's going to want to kill a dog as a child, because some of them have pets? Who's going to want to kill a cat as a child, because some of them have pets? This bully, he's like, fuck that shit, I'm doing it. He gets his BB gun, he starts popping squirrels. You can't just go and get an animal that's already dead. The tomb will know, and you won't get shit. So you have to kill it yourself. So either you kill it or you kill it right there on the altar, one way or the other. Um, so anyway, they get these abilities, but at one point, the others start saying, "No, I don't want to do no more. I'm not killing no dog. I'm not killing no cat." And basically, I'm one of them dudes too. That's too much for me because I was raised with dogs. So and I owned a few cats. So I would be one of those dudes who says no. So the God Tomb basically goes on. They wind up fighting each other. because the bully dude is being bad. He's threatening people, and he's threatening to kill people's cats, animals and shit, because they can't find no stray cats and dogs. So once they get to a certain level, killing birds and squirrel, that it kind of stops. But the bully kid wants to keep going, and the other kids want to stop him because he's getting more reckless. And so it keeps going until the bully winds up killing one of the kids and offering him as a sacrifice. Because he's stronger than him. He doesn't mind killing the cats. He don't mind killing the dog. So then he winds up killing one of the kids, and in order to stop him, the other kid, the one who I say was kind of like me, he has to kill a dog. He has to kill a cat in order to gain strength to get strong enough to go head on against this guy. But he won't. He refuses to kill a person, and so they go at it, and there's this big battle and all of that. But you find out what happens in the book, because that's basically what happens is everybody who dies, who got abilities, it's the god tomb. So everybody who dies who got ability, this tomb goes around and keeps offering abilities. So the idea of the book, it would be like the Twilight Zone. The tomb would disappear and then pop up somewhere else, offer people abilities, and whatever happens. So, but if you die, right? So when they die, whoever died, an old god from the god tomb that the god tomb created is sent out to retrieve the gods who's perished and bring them back to the tomb. And whoever survives, the tomb leaves alone and it moves on. So that's what the god tomb is all about. And when it doesn't matter when you perish, if the god tomb offered you abilities and gave you abilities and you perish, it's coming to get you. Because that's what it's for. It's the god tomb, and it creates gods and then it buries them. So that's basically the whole story. Yeah. So they basically go to war and somebody's dying. I ain't telling you because it's going to be a free book that's given away with the story if we get enough subscribers to pay for it all. I'll try to draw it up. I'm trying to draw it up now. I'm drawing a little bits here and there in between creating characters because it's mostly just kids. There's no special designs that I have to create, just kids. And I was in a Catholic school, so we're probably going to have all uniforms on. So it's not like it's a whole lot of drawing that I have to do a lot of imagination. I can just use regular street clothes. The designing characters is a lot harder than I thought, especially upwards near 50, because I got 12 to 15 good guys, 12 plus the 3 guest stars, Cameo, Might, and the Nebula character. And those guys are going to be in the book helping Mike, because Mike he's been to wars. After the thing happened in the 63, he still was in the military, and he was doing covert military actions with other superheroes like him from the 60s. So he finally quits because he can't take it no more. He's sending people to their death over and over and over and over and over. And he's got an extended life now because of the procedure. His life is longer. He was 30 when in his 30s, early 30s, when he first was altered. And now it's 2022, and he's only like 10 years older. He only looks 10 years older, 5 or 10 years older. He still looks like a young man, but he's aged basically 50, 60 years have passed, 70 years, 50, 60 years have passed, and he still looks the same. And all of those guys who had the procedure, they have prolonged life. So he got tired of the military thing. He don't want to send people to their death anymore. So, and that kind of affects him. He has this survivor's remorse, and he doesn't want to work with some of these other superheroes because they don't have the strength and durability that he has. So he doesn't want to see people dying around him, and he doesn't want to be responsible for sending these guys in, but he can't. The best way to work is to work together, and he understands that. He's from the military, but he, like I said, he just really doesn't want to work with these guys. He has a reluctance to working with these people, and they feel that shit. He lets his second in command, Nightshade, do all of the work. And we're gonna have first level heroes who are street level heroes. Like I was saying before, Batman wouldn't be able to survive on my team because Batman has no abilities, he has no durability, and I don't think he would have the speed to go up against one of these enhanced beings. So that's why even some of the regular engine, the regular engine, they can't make it on the team. There has to be something special about them. Like I have a metal dude on here called Blue Steel. He's on there because he's way durable. He has this blue skin, but it's rare for neogenetic human to have that strength of ability. They usually have some kind of power. Back when Mike was created, the most power that they had was be able, if you can create fire, you could only create like a little fire in your palm. It wasn't like you was going to be shooting fire across the street and burning up stuff. You really, but these guys are starting to get stronger. Before that, they could only create like a cigarette lighter flame on their tip of their finger, but now they're starting to grow bigger fireballs in the palms of their hands. So they noticed it. The government noticed this increase in their abilities, and because some of these guys are in the military and they tested them for this, and they started to see that these guys are getting stronger. They figured, back in 10, 15, 20 years, who knows how strong these guys or what kind of variations, because like with the metal dude, he can take a lot. He's a lot stronger than the average dude, the average genetic human, because of his steel. So some abilities are naturally stronger. Just that steel skin gives him the ability to punch harder and takes more damage. So he's on the team. But guys like Ramrod, Ramrod, he's gonna be on the team. He doesn't like it. He can't fly. Ramrod can't fly. He can get around because he got this staff that basically he can knock things around with. But oops. Uh he basically if he gets hit by somebody powerful like like Mike, he's through. He's through. So Mike doesn't like dealing with those types of dudes. He don't he realizes their contribution, but he doesn't want to order them into the field. And when if he's there and they're fighting together side by side, yeah, he will give instructions and stuff like that because he's the leader. But he doesn't like doing it, and he is basically shows. And some of the guys take offense to his reluctance to lead, and that becomes a thing. It's one of my story subplots. So I'm not going to get too deep in that because I might make a mistake and give away something. So yeah, Black Talon, Ramrod, uh, um, a female. She deals with magic, but she's another one who she's a small girl. She's like in her early 20s, and she doesn't have full control of her abilities because she got hers from her father. She's called Gauntlet, and she has these magical gloves. One is dark energy, and the other one is light energy or good energy. And she only uses the good energy glove Gauntlet because the other one is too powerful for her. She thinks she feels herself losing herself when she uses the dark Gauntlet, and that's what makes her kind of weak because she leaves that in the vault. So that's one of the reasons. Okay, so we got 12 characters. Yeah, we gonna have to. Okay, let me. We got 12 characters. All right. We got 12 characters, 3 guest stars, right? 12 characters, 12 superheroes. That's including Might. There's Might, Wreck, Nightshade. Nightshade, she's the second in command. That's because she likes doing all of that type of stuff. Nightshade. Nightshade, and her abilities have something to do with this guy who lives on the island. He lives on the island. Okay, where am I? Portsburg. This island right here. Warhammer, he guards the guy on that island. He's a you could say he's like a wizard, right? And he's been around for thousands of years. And Warhammer, he found him like a few thousand years ago in the medieval times at night, and he I can't tell you everything. Like I said, I gotta say some of this shit for the launch. So um Nightshade is Warhammer is basically his guardian, and he's been his guardian for like 2,000 years, some shit like that. And this guy, he knows the location of this magical vault that contains a lot of riches and powerful weapons, but most of all, it contains the location of the graveyard. Now, the graveyard, okay, Nightshade, War, Hammer. When I created the graveyard and the whole aspect behind this medieval wizard dude and Warhammer, because Warhammer's his guardian, and and he's close enough to help if there's any danger. And but being that there's not many times that there's danger, he helps out with might and stuff just so that he can have something to do. And the dude on the island, he allows him that because they have a system, a early warning system of sorts, or to let him know when there's danger. And besides, there's something else that happened. The guy created another guardian to guard him more regularly, which allows Warhammer to get out and be more of a free entity. So okay, there's Warhammer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dang. There's Ultima. I just got finished doing a nice design for her. I actually came out with 2 designs. So I'm going to take one of the other designs because it looks a little bit more evil because of the points. I have some really sharp points on the designs on her chest. And so this is her chest, her head is here, and it's kind of like these points, and they come out like this on down her thigh. So it kind of has this crazy design coming across her breast. This is her breast, and it comes, So anyway, Ultima Blue Steel. Blue Steel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another 6. Another 6. Another. Oh, Red Devil. I just got finished showing her. Red Devil. She's a demon. She was imprisoned in hell. She was imprisoned in hell, turned into a demon, and then somebody freed her from hell. And in order, she was put into hell, or what we think of as hell. She was placed in hell as a punishment or a torture, and turned into a demon, but then was freed, and her memory erased so that she doesn't remember all of the suffering and torture that she went through to make her into a demon or a devil, or a demon. So she's a demon from like the third level of hell. So this is what I mean when I'm going to have all of these different storylines, because I'm going to be touching on all of these things. But right now, this book is not going to be dealing with hell. Not right now. We're talking about 7 books down the line where we introduce other characters who's going to bring that whole hell aspect, and demons, and the whole war between heaven and hell, and all of that's going to come into play. That's when I introduce other characters. But now we're not dealing with that. We're dealing with just Might and the substance, and the bad guys around them. So I got these 12 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7, 8. Let me see. Okay, who do I have? Is Warhammer Wreck. You can tell the guys I spend most of my time drawing that I'm favorites. Okay. Damn, I got the 3 guest stars who are Cameo, Everman, and my Nebula character. So that's the guest stars, and I can't because I can't remember. Oh, hold on. There's a few in here. Black Talon. Oh, there it is. Black Talon. And I just was drawing this school. Black Talon. He's one of my favorite characters because he's like my Batman character. And because he's a neogenic character who has about twice the strength of a human, and he wears body armor, I guess, like Batman would, and he has some gadgets that he uses, but for the most part, he's this one of these dudes that Mike doesn't like working with. He likes working with Wreck. He likes working with Warhammer. He doesn't mind working with Blue Steel. He doesn't mind working with Nightshade. But for the most part, he don't want to work with the rest of these. Well, Red Devil, he doesn't mind working with them. But Gauntlet, he doesn't like working with her because she's unreliable, and she's dealing with a lot of fear. Gauntlet, she doesn't like using the so when the attack happens, the reason why I'm saying that now is that when the attack happens, they leave people in at the base because they don't know. They get when the book opens up, they get a warning. The team gets a warning that a group of mercenaries or a group organized group who deal in the underworld, they on the subnet, they have, it's like the dark net, they have the subnet that they said, they basically told, uh left it something on the dark net saying that they were coming to Portsburg to wreak havoc, right? To do something. They didn't say what, and but they basically gave a rough timeline, and so they were preparing, and that's why the three guest stars are there, because they have to split the team. They don't know what these guys are up to. These guys, they know that this group, they're usually responsible for destabilizing governments and assassinations and all types of shit like that kind of shit, international mayhem and chaos. So they knew if they was coming here, they had to take it serious. So that's why they don't like working with Gauntlet and stuff like that. So they knew that they was going to have to leave a few people in the headquarters because they have a safe on the premises for keeping deadly items, right? And the dark glove, the dark gauntlet, there's two gauntlets. There's the light gauntlet and the dark one. Dark gauntlet. And the dark one she doesn't use because she's afraid she's going to lose herself to the darkness. Her father, when you want to be the most powerful, she want to be as powerful as her father, she has to learn how to use them both. He had the ability to use both of them, and only with both of them can you have the ultimate magical power. And he was a pretty powerful magic mystic, right? And so every time she's tried to use the dark one, she finds herself losing herself to the dark side, and she doesn't want to do that. She's not strong enough. She feels that she's not strong enough, and that's all that's necessary to lose herself. And so they had to leave that in the safe in the headquarters at HQ. And so, being that there's other items in there too, they know that these people are coming for some reason. So they know that they have to leave some people to guard the headquarters in case these guys show up. So that's why you got the three guest stars there. And let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, three more. Okay, we're gonna have to go to the video. None here. Oh, here's that design. One of the designs that I was telling you about. That's Ultima. No, that's the new design for Ultima. I switched it around and I let her keep the old one that I was working on, and this one I'm gonna give to a bad girl because she got all these sharp points. So it seems more likely that she will be a bad girl. So I'm gonna give that to a bad girl. But I changed around the other outfit. I'm gonna have to bring that other one up, and just so that you can see. Just so that you can see. Now, this is all stuff that's not completed, so that I purposely leave these uncompleted so that you can see. I upgrade them a little bit, but time to time, but I don't like I'll bring some of the stuff from the other completed stuff over so that you can see what they're looking like, but I really don't want y'all to see anything until the launch. Because like I said, there's upwards of 50 characters. There's like 12, 13, 15, and then there's going to be a few scenes where they show street level guys. There's going to be like 5 to 6 street level guys in the different boroughs, and there might be some time. I'm not saying because I need to make sure that I have enough space to tell my story, but I want to show that I could use a compilation page or a montage page or whatever it's called and show how these street level guys, they fight like street level thugs and the mafia and stuff like that, those lower level type of activities. So but when it comes to fighting superheroes, other super villains and stuff like that, these lower level, lower tier characters can't fuck around with these guys. They'll get smashed. So Nightshade, she wants to organize the street level dudes and kind of bring them into to their group, but on a kind of like a hands-off sort of thing. She wants to help organize them, maybe give them help support them with tactical information satellite shit and maybe comms to help 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 them on missions and stuff. But that means that she would have to be doing jobs at points for both sides, being tactical response or support or technical support for them in the field. When the good guys are out there and she's working with these lower tier dudes, she may have to be doing 2 jobs at once. And that's what Mike doesn't really like that type of shit. He thinks that she shouldn't, but he's not going to try and stop her. It's up to her. He lets her handle all of that shit because he really wants to stay hands off. He only comes in really when the action starts and he jumps in then when. So, and that's why I'm trying to make him a little bit unlikable. I want to make him a little unlikable. I don't want you to like him that much at first. All right. And I have my reasons. Okay, so let me bring this stuff in. Let me see. No. Okay. All right, so we have this is a big file. It's got all of the characters. And that's why I try to keep them separate, because when they broken up into all of these files like that, it could cause this to crash. So that's why I don't keep it. The ones with the color, I got them flattened and everything so that it doesn't have all of this problem. So here's Ramrod. Here's Ramrod. Come on, motherfucker. See, it's already acting funky. See, here's Ramrod. I added a face, the face to him, because before he didn't have the face in this version. So I brought the face over. You can see the head is added on, and I kind of made his look more complete. So this is basically what he's gonna look like. He has a few more things on his where is Mike? Where is my car? Oh, it's underneath. That's what this is. It's underneath. Okay, so we're gonna take that, take that, take that. All right, now we come up to the top. Oops. Well, it doesn't help. Okay, we just add one in. It has like little things around his boots. So anyway, there's a few other little details, but You'll see that on the launch. You'll see all of these little details because I got in there, man. I really started, and it took me a while to really get into it because it's been a long time since I designed. So my brain, with the writing and trying to get all of this stuff together at once, has been hard because I've got a lot of characters. This guy up here at the top, he's all the way up at the top over here. He's like from another solar system. He'll be coming in later down the line, several books down the line, when we start getting deep into outer space. Matter of fact, he might not even be in the Mighton book. He might be in the Nebula characters book or one of the others, because I'm no longer thinking that only Might can introduce new characters. All of them will be able to introduce new characters once I get the books out there. And I added a face to her. I brought her face over, but you can see I was working on coloring her. She has wings that disappear. She can kind of suck them in. So that's why she got these little things off of her back right here. These little things right here off her back is for her wings. They basically like the tips of her wings, and they just shoot out of her back. And then she has a pitchfork, and yeah. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with her legs right here. I was gonna have like I was gonna have fur flying all off of here like this and stuff off of her. But I'm not sure if I want to do that now because, as you see, I went along. Was thinking about it. I still might try to draw a little bit more of it up so I went with the gargoyle looking type feet. If you ever saw that show Gargoyles back in the days, I think Disney made it. I went with her gargoyle like feet. You can see she has some extended feet here. You have some extended feet and then this hook on the back. So you got the hook on the back and extended feet. So I'm in the process of putting her armor on. I got to blacken this area, blacken this around here, because this is basically, what's this? Okay, we'll leave that there. This is gonna have like a black thing around her foot like that, and this is gonna come up like this. And it's gonna go around her foot. I'm probably gonna have this come up like this. Something like that. Some of them were easy to design, and others I struggled with. So, and this is gonna be all black. But yeah. And she can look more human. She's definitely gonna look more human at times. So she can kind of transform her look. She can like her horns will go down and she'll look more like a pretty chick. And then when she gets evil, she gets this really wicked look on her face, and she can be really dark. So I'm working on all of these things with her so far. I'm trying to get her design because she's more of a like a crazy wilder. He's one of my more favorite characters that I've been developing lately. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot about H2O. I forgot all about H2O. Hold on, son. Hold on. Where's that at? Where's that at? Okay. There's H2O. He wasn't one of my favorites. He wasn't. When I first created him, when I first made him, because every character in my Bible I haven't developed. I have not developed. No. This is my Bible. And I've been telling you guys, for all of you guys who don't know. Okay, let me come back to who's listening to me. Oops. Get out of there. I haven't finished talking to my boy. So the creation of superheroes was an act of desperation. An act of desperation for me or who? Shit, I forgot to ask him. Damn, I got carried away with my storytelling. I would love to ask him what he meant by this. So the creation of superheroes as an act of the creation of superheroes was an act of desperation. Not on my part, if that's what he was asking, Doodle Squatch. The it was not an act of desperation on my part. I just wanted to create superheroes. I always believed, even in creating video game characters, I don't like playing with the already created characters. I like creating my own characters and then going against the other characters. I don't like uh feeding off what somebody else already did. So my creating superheroes was my own thing. It's just something I needed to do because I love to do. So yeah, there's H2O, Blue Steel. Okay. Mike, 1, 2, 3, wreck. Blue Warhammer. Ramrod. That's Ramrod. Yeah, I forgot about Ramrod. I talked about Ramrod, but I forgot all about him. Ramrod. Ramrod, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ramrod. Ultima, Gauntlet, H2O, Black Talon. Did I put Black Talon? Did I put Black Talon? Black Talon. Black Talon. Ultima. Who am I missing? Keeping track, baby. Keeping track. Gauntlet, Blue Steel. Oh, tried. Okay. Okay. Tricor. Okay, that's what I'm not sure about him. Okay. We're going to try this another way. You try this another way. What happened? Okay, the last one is is called Tricor. No. Ew. The hell. Yeah, it's too thick. The problem why I didn't remember him is because I was thinking of changing him because I needed more characters who couldn't fly. He can't fly. He can't fly. He can't fly. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I was looking for more characters that could not fly. And Rhett can't fly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I wanted at least one more that could not fly. So Tricore, I was gonna have him fly, and then I was thinking about another character called Random. That's why there's two names here for him. There's two names because I was thinking of changing this guy. And I was also thinking about another dude just so that I could make sure that there was at least 5 characters that couldn't fly. The reason why, because I have these ships and I wanted to make sure that they was going to be needing them and using them to transport people back and forth and to transport bad guys. So it makes sense. But I didn't want all of them flying. It didn't make. I wanted to have some of them that didn't. And H2O, he's kind of a powerful character. He's another naturally occurring neogenetic individual who has more powerful than usual abilities. His has to do with water. So his abilities with water gives him a lot of power. So Ramrod, you see Ramrod here. And this staff of his is where his ability, but he's a neogenetic individual too. He well, he's just a normal neogenetic super. He's got an extra strength, but his staff is what where he gets his extra powers from. His ability to be involved with the team comes from having this staff, and he's good with it. He's really good. So, but I'm not sure in this one. I'm not sure which one is going to be in the book, but I have to figure it out by the time the book drops because, of course, because of their abilities. I need to, not only that, by the launch, because I don't want to be confused when I show y'all the pages from the book. The pages from the book are going to show some fight scenes, and you're going to be able to see some of these guys' abilities. So this guy might be. I was telling you about how there's a safe in the headquarters, and this guy, these whoever this guy is, he might be one of the guys that stays behind to protect uh protect the headquarters and the safe. They're gonna leave some teams behind. Remember, okay, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 11 and 12, right? So that means 9 because 3 of these the guest stars are going to be going instead. So there's going to be 3 of these guys, say these 3 that stay back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, and these guys will be with these guys. So whoever stays behind will be staying behind to protect the safe, and the rest of them go out because when the bad guys attack, they attack 2 different locations. And so the team splits in half. And some of these guys go with might, and some of these guys go to the other location. One, they go to my what I call my Silicon Valley. Go to my tech area. East Coast Sil Valley. Right? And they go to the Diamond District. And they raise They split up and they raise heck, and Niso, Might, and the team split up and they go and attack the two different locations, leaving a few guys behind to defend the headquarters so that to make sure nobody attacks the headquarters, right? And when that happens, there's a third attack that nobody knows about, and that's at this lab. That's at the lab. Yeah. That's at this lab. The third attack happens at this lab over here. Let me get something else. The third attack happens over here at this lab, right? In modern era, in modern days. So in the 2022 or 23, whenever my book comes out. Depends on when I finish. Right? Right? So it happens right there. And remember, this time is at this particular time, this whole area is going through reconstruction, gentrification, all of that stuff. So, all right. And that's how the book opens up. They get this warning, this big battle happens between in the two areas, and the third place location, the lab gets attacked. The lab attack. And substance sample stolen. And that's how it all starts. Mike remembers the shit that went on back then, and he wants to find out what happens. Then the military comes. The head of the military, who was once his commander, comes and he tells him that what happens. He informs him of what happened at this lab, and they'd have to get on that. They realize it's all connected, and they have to get on that. Now, the magic dude out here on this island in Portsburg, the magic dude out here on this island, and I said that he was responsible for the. He knows the location of this vault, and this vault has in it all these riches and magical weapons and armor and all kinds of stuff like that. But more importantly, what's in here, there is maps. Maps. Ooh. Maps. Maps to the locations of the graveyard. Maps to the location of the graveyard, plus other magical things, other magical places like the graveyard, and there's other things, the cemetery, the citadel. There's all these different maps that lead you to magical locations for different things. And the graveyard, every 1,000 years or every 100 years, or every 50 years, the god tomb the God tomb that I was telling you about earlier has to return to the graveyard. Well, I was traveling all over the place, offering abilities and taking people who die from using their abilities. Every once in a while, they has to return. Every 100 years or so, it has to return to the graveyard at a specific time and a specific place, and the map tells how to find the graveyard and this specific. He has maps in this vault. The vault. He knows the location of the vault, and the vault has the maps that can lead you to the God tomb where other motherfuckers want to get to become gods themselves. So that's the story. We got stories upon stories upon stories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We got stories that handle every part of our universe and our world, and then these characters will spin off. The Nebula character, Everman, and Cameo, they will spin off. They will help fight the battles, and then they will spin off into their own books, and we will expand our universe, taking you to outer space, take you to hell, taking you to magic, because we have a group called Black House that deals with magic. So we're gonna have a book that spins off that deals with magic, not in the second campaign, maybe the third or fourth. We're gonna have books spinning off. These guys are gonna be there. Mike uses characters from Black House regularly, every once in a while when they have magic that they're dealing with. And being that these dudes have magic, they teleported, so they regularly go and talk to a dude there, and his name is Omen. He's like leader. He's the leader, and the dude that they usually work with is called Turncoat. So he's going to be working with Mike. What happens is they find out these guys get into this major knockdown drag out fight, and then they use a teleportation spell to escape. And so Mike calls up, contacts Black House. He talks to Omen, and he asks Omen to if he could use get some help tracking this the location, the tracking the portal, to see where it took them, and that's what they use. Turncoat comes to help. So this is afterwards. Oh, I'm not sure if these three are gonna be in it after the first major assault, the fight scene. They might take off and go on their own. The Nebula character will be leaving. He won't be fighting any longer. And these two might stay for a little while, and then they'll leave. There's going to be 3 books. 3 books. There's going to be 3 books made up the first issue. And the first book in the three books is going to be a 68-page, giant size first issue. And then 2 24-page books. The second 2 books. right? So then you're gonna have 3 books in the graphic novel. This is what I want to do. And I think I have enough story to fit in there. In this 3 books. So it'll be 118 pages. 116 page. All right. That's my intentions to create this. I don't know if that answered your question. I know you're not here to fucking see what I'm talking about. He says he's good. He's doing good. All right. So yeah, buddy. So anyway, that's basically the beginnings of the story. They find out that's how the book starts out. So they in the original the origin story, the meteorite crashes. They stop the spread of the substance. They put it on the space station, and they sometimes bring samples down to the planet in order to do tests or R&D, research and development, and the attack of these bad guys coincide with this sample being on the planet, and they attack it. They attack and they steal a sample, right? And that's how the story starts. From there, you get the military dudes come in and let Mike know that this sample was stolen, and being that he's here, something has to be done. He knows about it because of his background in the military. He has a certain amount of clearance, and so he's expected to look into this. They ask him to look into it while they check on their side. And that's basically how the story starts. So you're going to have the mega story, you're going to have this story, and you're going to have the cube to the second power story. Cube squared, or to the second power. Right? Cube to the second power. I like this one better than cube squared, but that's what I mean. Same thing. Q squared, that's the artificial intelligence, and he's he used the artificial intelligence. I can't. I'll go into that later. Like I said on launch, it's about artificial intelligence, but it's not. And then you're gonna have another tech guy that works with the guy who created this, a tech guy who works with he was working with psychic control of machinery. Psychic control of machines. Tech dude. Yeah. So, But this guy, he goes to be good. And this guy, he goes to be bad. But they started out in the same spot, same location, doing things for this company run by Bryson or Bryce Maddox. And these guys work for his company, one of his companies called Mad Tech Industries. No. Yeah, maybe. Might be calling that Industries and call Maddox International or Conglomeration or whatever. International, whatever it is. Doesn't matter, right? So Bryce Maddox, he's basically like the Lex Luthor, and he's got a rival. He has a rival that's in over here, and this is Cliff Falls. Because there's a waterfalls over here. There's a waterfalls right there. Oh, waterfalls right here. And these are the cliffs. These are all sheer cliffs. All along here, there's sheer cliffs, right? Elevated. And then things run down into the port over here. So, and his rival is doing shit. He's coming up with new inventions and new stuff, man. And that's going to be a big part of the story. We got all kinds of great things to bring to y'all, and your guys are going to love it. And I'm getting a little tired now. Let me see. Getting a little hungry. Definitely thirsty. Let me see. I got some water here. Let me see. All right. So then that's that. I think I got y'all on here up to date. Yeah, I got y'all all updated. Let's see. Let me see. Bryce Maddox, he has a rival over there. He's coming up with some stuff. And Mike and everybody's out searching for so yeah, okay. We got all of these characters. That's what I was trying to tell you. We got these 12 characters here, right? Then these 3 characters here. And then we're gonna have an underworld. The Guild. And that's an underworld organization. Underworld org. Right? These guys got multiple characters that I have to finish drawing and designing. They're not going to be in the opening fight scene, thank God. So I don't have to worry about designing them. But these guys are going to be in the book. These guys are definitely going to be major in the book, and that's the underworld group. Then there's going to be gangs. There's going to be mob. And most of all, the Illuminati. Type bad guys. No. Illuminati type groups which there are at least 2 at war. To dominate the world. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So all of this combined, I think this is going to be a spectacular story, man. I think you guys are going to love it because it's got everything that you need to tell a super interesting story, a crazy high action fire type stories, man. And I'm telling you, I don't think anybody's going to be messing with my level of storytelling. I just don't see it right now. But it's possible. It's possible. So if you guys want to be down with all of this, if you guys want to know Mike and the crew and get put down on all of this good shit, check out Mike. Check out Mike, the graphic novel. Check out Mike. Check out Mike. Check out Mike. Check out Mike. Check out my, 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 check out Mike. Check out Mike graphic novel. Coming soon to Indiegogo. That's right, people. So, with that, we're going to call a close to this. I thank you all. Thanks for showing up, Doodle Squad. I appreciate you coming through and spend a little time getting to hear the story and seeing what Mike, the graphic novel, is going to be all about. We're going to be bringing you a lot more, and I can't wait for this to drop. I'm really getting tired of this preparing for the. I'm nervous and all kinds of stuff because I've never done sold anything before, so I'm really all wrapped up in this. So we're gonna get up out of here. Thanks for coming through. Please like, subscribe, share, do that YouTube thing, and help us grow this channel so that we can sell Mike to as many people who would want to buy it, because it's going to be an extremely entertaining show, a book, and it's going to be something that's going to definitely rival the big two, DC, Marvel, and put them to shame, because I'm doing it all by myself, and these guys got teams of people, and they can't get it done because they got all of these politics, these social politics involved in their story. And that's why I'm Comicsgate for life. Yay, yay. And I will be until for as long as I can. So anyway, as long as I'm here and able to draw and write books. So for you guys who don't forget, Might, the graphic novel, the Might universe will be coming to you in the pages of Might and across its spin-off books. So till the next time, please welcome, you're always welcome here at the Goddom. And for all creators who are honorary members of the Goddom, like EVS and John Malin, and soon to be Young Ripper, and all of the other guys at Comicsgate who has their books out, Aaron Lepresti, and all of those guys, Shane Davis, all of these guys, they all honorary members because they create worlds for people to get lost in. They're demigods, and demigods belong to the goddom. It's like Mount Olympus. It's like Mount Olympus. So the goddom is like Mount Olympus. So welcome back. I welcome you guys back, and I hope to see you again next time. And I'm out.